Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sonic Heroes on the Microsoft Xbox. I am one well sheep yet again.
Are you sure this is the right way?
Affirmative.
What's up? Something on your mind?
Well, never mind. Let's go. That blue hedgehog like me. What did the doctor say about my memory? And just who am I?
I know one thing, you're not Jackie Chan in a very awesome movie, I know that much. But this, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sonic Heroes, and today we're going to be continuing onwards with Hang Castle and the haunted levels of the game yet again. Oh, the joys. And yet again, as you could clearly tell in that cutscene, I had to turn down the volume a slight bit because it obviously had that stupid audio glitch again with the damn fire. I really wish I knew what caused that. It's just terrible. It just hurts my ears. It's annoying. I don't like it. I don't like it indeed. But anyway, one thing that you'll notice from this point onwards in the game, including the Sonic storyline of the game, actually, except I sort of glossed over it back in the Sonic playthrough, are the fact we do have new enemy types to deal with, which are basically in the form of wizards. Now, these wizard badniks, wizard enemies, wizard egg pawns, I believe, they're actually two. In a way, they're kind of like two enemies in one. Basically, when they're flipped up and they have that orange sort of color scheme to them, they can heal up themselves and they can heal up other Eggman's badniks and make them more stronger and give them buffs. And whenever they turn into the purple formation, which you can actually swap them between by using your tornado move on them, then what will happen is basically they can suck up all of your rings by using like this NG ring force field thingy waltz it, and honestly they seem more trouble than they actually are. They're actually quite easy enemies to deal with, trust me, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, whenever you see them, general rule of thumb is you probably do want to go after them in the first place because they do buff up enemies, and you know, you don't want to fight enemies that are stronger. You don't want to fight enemies with stronger defense. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you want to take down enemies as quickly as you can. What can I tell ya, ladies and gentlemen? What can I tell ya, indeed? But yeah, apart from those things, you know, everything's the same. Well, actually, those things are even the same in the Sonic storyline. It's just I held off on commentating about them until this point because I needed some form of commentary. Like, seriously, I think I've pretty much said everything I can about the game, almost. Although one thing you will also need to watch out for during the course of this zone are the generic pumpkin head ghosts that will pop up from time to time and sort of try to do this weird, not so much jump scare because they're not nearly scary enough to be considered a jump scare, but they will sort of jump up and pop in the middle of a pathway you're running on and try to catch you off guard. And those ghost things are a bit of an annoyance, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, you can sort of run straight past them and ignore them entirely. You know, folks, and honestly, I don't mind them too much. They're more of a little tiny nuisance than anything else, you know, folks. So, yeah, there's not much I can really say about the stage, you know, nothing that's so pretty. There's nothing all that new going on, you know, folks. Although sometimes I will be honest with these poles, you can actually, as I probably mentioned before in the past, your homing attack at level 3 actually has a little bit of a wind property to it. So if you do a homing attack and use it on a pole, for instance, then whatever character will be basically Sonic or Shadow or whatever will automatically grab onto the pole and they will start swinging them up to the top with the teammates. And we actually saw earlier on that sometimes the poles can actually glitch up, and this was back in the Sonic playthrough in the rail stage, where sometimes the poles themselves can sort of glitch up and they can activate regardless of whether you actually have any wind in the area. And I don't know what exactly causes that, because yeah, I just have no idea. But basically, from time to time, whenever you go up to a pole, this is a very rare instance this happens, but it can still happen, you'll automatically just grab it and swing up it as if you've done a tornado move. And yeah, I honestly, for the life of me, have no idea why that glitch happens. Maybe the game just gets confused or something. I have no idea. I have no idea, indeed. Yes. Oh my. But of course the platforming is going to be a little bit more tricky in comparison to the Sonic story as well, folks, as you can probably guess, because obviously we have more risk of dying. There's more chances to fall in the bottomless pits. There's less platforms to catch you if you decide to fall. You know, it's still nothing tricky, isn't it? We've done much harder platforming than this stage produces during the course of the series up until this point, you know, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, it's still a little bit more challenging in comparison to what you would expect. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? Indeed. Oh, bollocks. Don't die, don't die, don't die. Oh, so close, I almost died. Yeah, those little fire pathways can be a little bit tricky on points. They can be a little bit tricky to find out which way is there's a pit or not. You know, it's like the floor's invisible or something. I have no idea. By the way, I do have to be honest as well. Omega on Team Dark. He's probably one of my favorite Sonic characters ever. And I think it's pretty much because he really doesn't give a shit about any of the enemies he's killing. He really just doesn't care. Because as you play as him, you always hear him just go, annihilate charge, must annihilate all Eggman's robots. He's really one-track minded as well. For example, in earlier cutscenes where we saw Omega, everyone was all like, well, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. And Omega's just like, I don't care. I just want to kill Eggman because fuck Eggman. He locked me in a room. That bastard. I think that I legitimately think that's the only reason Omega hates Eggman, because Eggman locked him in a room to guard Shadow. Because I don't know. I don't even know why why Shadow was sort of even locked up in that room in the first place. Like, why would you keep Shadow in the capsule even after Shadow is healed up? You know, it's stuff like that I don't understand about Eggman. Maybe he wanted to try and brainwash Shadow somehow, which probably explains his amnesia. I don't know, I'm probably putting a lot more effort into thinking into this than Sonic Team themselves, but you know, these things gotta be talked about. These things have got to be discussed in the grand scheme of a YouTube Let's Play. I mean, what else do you think I gotta do? Explain the game mechanics? Well, yeah, that's usually what I have to do in a Let's Play, but let's face it, I've explained as much as I can. I don't think there's anything else really to talk about here. Although, actually, I say that, but there is one thing I want to talk about in regards to the PS2 version of this game. Where, one of my biggest sort of issues with the PS2 version of this game is when I'm switching characters. Which is, I don't think I've really seen anyone ever ever talk about the same issue that I generally have, and it might just be isolated to just me, but I noticed that when I played this on the PS2, when I swapped characters between the PS2, I think because of the lower frame rate, I've always had issues where I push the triangle button, which obviously in the case of this version of the game is the Y button, and instead of switching to Rouge or Shadow or Omega, what happens is I basically swap two characters instead of just once, and it usually causes me to die a lot in the PS2 version of the game, and for the life of me, I don't know if it's just an isolated case where I'm the only person on the planet to have that issue, because I never see anyone talk about that issue. But every time I play the PS2 version, I always have that sort of really annoying little quirk where I just can't switch characters properly, and my characters sort of just flip across like I'm a cocaine person. I'm a cocaine person. Like I'm a person high on cocaine, really jittery, pushing the button like 1,000,001 times. And in actuality, I'm just pushing the button once, and it's just swapping between the characters very slowly, you know. But you might recall this area of the game. It's a little bit longer as Shadow as opposed to when we played as Sonic. We just got a little bit of a skydiving sequence to manipulate about with. Obviously, avoid the giant pumpkin ghosts, and that's all she wrote. It's not that difficult in the slightest. You just need to manipulate everything. But be careful of that pit right before the goal ring. More then enough times I have decided, hey, I'm at the end of the stage, I'm gonna run straight to it, and dropped into the pit because I didn't realize the pit was there. So just be a little bit careful of that, ladies and gentlemen, because otherwise you will probably die, which is not cool, you know, folks. But I digress. Mystic Mansion. Escape from the crazy castle.
Inside the castle.
Sure is spooky in here.
Initiating interior search.
Well, Omega's not lying. We are initiating the interior search. And one thing I kind of that kind of bugs me about the power characters is when they're at level 0. And basically, I'd much rather use the characters' power-ups whenever they have level 1, level 2, level 3. I just kind of wish they have like one of those finishing moves when they're at level 0 as well, which is just really not all that effective, because when I'm playing as a power character at level 0, I sort of find myself flailing from point A to point B in a room, and I don't really have much control of my own punches. And I've died more than enough times as a power character just because I'm just mashing the attack button trying to kill enemies, but I really don't have much control over them. I don't have much traction. And it does sort of ruin the experience for me. What can I tell ya? By the way, screw that ghost. I really do not like the ghosts in these levels. Again, they're a bit more of a minor nuisance, as I've already said, and you don't really have much of a... They're not likely to kill you, you know, folks, but they're still really annoying to deal with. They're sort of just this pest that gets in your way from time to time, and, you know, honestly, I'd much rather not bother with those ghosts. I really wish they were more of a traditional enemy type that you had to kill, but, no, sometimes they'll just pop up, and, you can homing attack them, I suppose, but, you know, it doesn't permanently kill them. It's like they're ghosts or something. Like, if you kill a ghost, then, unfortunately, the Mario 64 message, "Ghosts don't die," doesn't pop up, but, you know, basically, I think the ghost can return, you know, you can't kill those things permanently. I could be wrong with that, don't quote me on that, but, that's pretty much my, stick, that's pretty much what I think, anyway. Again, I could be wrong indeed, because I know in some rooms, definitely the ghost can't be killed. But in other rooms, I know the ghosts are killable and they do disappear permanently, so maybe it's a case-by-case basis on each of these ghosts. I have no idea, ladies and gentlemen. What can I tell ya? What can I tell ya? Indeed.
Level up. Fire. Annihilation.
I have to say, I absolutely adore the soundtrack, by the way. Sorry I went a bit quiet then. But seriously, the music in this stage, oh my goodness gracious me, it's so good. This is probably up there as one of my favorite Sonic tracks ever. You know, folks, it's just such a fantastic musical track to listen to, and... No, I'm really surprised I haven't actually purchased this soundtrack yet, because I love the soundtrack of this game. I really need to pick it up at some point, like buy it on iTunes or something. I'm assuming it's on iTunes anyway. Most of the time Sonic soundtracks tend to be on that service, but, you know, I need to pick up the soundtrack in some way, shape or form in the future, because it's such a good musical soundtrack thing, you know, ladies and gentlemen. What can I tell ya? What can I tell ya, indeed? Anyway, pay attention to the torches that you see on the left and right of this passageway here. We aren't really going to be bothering with those torches as Shadow or as Team Dark, Team Rose or Team Sonic. But way later on in the game, when we actually play as Team Chaotix, we are going to need to manipulate all of the torches in these areas in this world in order to progress onwards, ladies and gentlemen. What can I say? So we do need to pay attention to those later down the line, and... basically, why am I talking about it right now? Because it has no relevance to this level? Well, simply put, I'm talking about it right now because there's nothing else really to talk about. I mean, yay, switch puzzles, kind of. I don't even know what the point of that switch puzzle is, because there's not really much of a switch puzzle in the fact that it's just you push a switch until the right pathway forms. There's no real puzzle to it. It's just keep hitting it until you find the right one. I don't get the point of that small little puzzle in quotations there. What? Why? Although one thing I do want to talk about, which I'm not sure I actually did mention, I might have mentioned this earlier on in the LP, but honestly I could be wrong and I can't remember properly, is that the Team Blast gauge at the top right of the screen actually does sort of have a it does have a lingering effect whenever you use a Team Blast. And this lingering effect is different for every single character in the game, you know, folks. For Team Sonic, it basically enables you to use the light speed attack whenever you jump and push the X button, which can be used quite effectively to kill enemies, and it's not the most useful thing in the world, but it's something that definitely exists. For Team Dark by here, we actually can use this Team Blast gauge, and it will actually freeze all time, because obviously Shadow utilizes Chaos Control. And whenever Shadow uses the Team Blast and uses Chaos Control, it can screw you out of doing things quickly, but, big, ooh, excuse me, very big buts. By the way, we can light these 2 torches by jumping into them as Omega. Basically, the Team Blast gauge of Shadow, we can disable it. We can stop the Chaos Control effect from happening just by pushing the white button a second time after we've initially activated the Team Blast. You know, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, there's not much I can really say about that. It's just pretty damn neat. That's all I can really say. But you know, we can use this to our advantage. What could I tell you? And I do apologize if it does sound like I'm a little bit more bunged up than normal. Like I think I'm coming down with a flu or cold or something. So basically, if I don't have many videos coming out after this video for the time being, you know why? I got a cold. So. And I don't want to record when I'm fully ill, you know, ladies and gentlemen. So if this continues up and I'm actually getting iller and iller and iller throughout the weeks, then well, not throughout the weeks, throughout the days, then I'm gonna have a bit of a break from recording just until I get better. So yeah, I do apologize if it's noticeable if my my nose is all bunged up and my voice sounds really you know. But yeah, I really hope it doesn't come to the fact I have to have a break from this LP, because this LP is going on for a long time, and I want to get it done as soon as, because I got other projects I want to move on to. Right, I want to do Sonic Advance 3. I want to do Sonic Battle. I want to do Banjo-Tooie, Shadow the Hedgehog. You know, I got a lot on my list of upcoming LPs to do, ladies and gentlemen. What can I tell ya? What can I tell ya, indeed? Although I don't know why I'm really saying this, because if you're watching this in the future land, which I know a lot of people, if they watch LPs in a similar way that I do will be, then this is all completely moot to you, and it doesn't matter because the time's gone past. But you know, for the people who are watching this LP as it's releasing, it may be there may be a bit of a delay between parts from this point onwards, just because it really does feel like I'm gonna start coming down with something, and I really hope it doesn't get worse than this. The woes of being a YouTube Let's Player. It's only annoying because normally I record these parts in bulk. You know, I normally record loads and loads and loads of LP parts in a single go, which I've sort of learnt to try and avoid now, just because even though it does give me a backlog for whenever I get ill and stuff, I've recently just started noticing that I've been overworking myself with the YouTube channel, and I've had more than enough instances where I've sort of drained myself out of just working on these videos, you know, folks. It's a really bad habit I've gotten myself into, where I'm playing these games, I'm recording these games, and doing my commentary on these, and I just happen to be overworking myself, which is a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame indeed. So I do want to try and combat that a bit, but the thing is, not me. I probably end up getting sick and tired of just doing one LP part every chance I get, and then bada bing, bada boom, I'm gonna start doing like 10 of them whenever possible. Granted, I would never be able to get 10 LP parts done in a day. These parts take a long time, believe it or not. Each individual part, it's like it'll take me most of an, yeah, pretty much most of the day editing, you know, just to get these done and ready to release. And usually these parts have like 10 different commentaries all going at once, spliced in between each other, and I just edit and cherry pick good commentary portions. But basically, YouTube is serious business. That's what I gotta say, really, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sort of trying to figure out a way so I don't overwork myself with the YouTube channel anymore. Probably gonna fail at that because, again, like I said, I'm gonna overwork myself eventually. It's just prone to happening. Whenever I get really passionate about something, which I tend to do when it comes to YouTube videos, and I become really perfectionist, I basically start recording and doing tons and tons of stuff over the top levels of there. So it's a bit of a minor annoyance, you know, folks. But anyway, I advise immediately when we get to this section is to use the little charge up trick as Rouge in order to progress further, because there are a couple of big bad mooks we need to deal with, and of course, big bad mooks on a tiny platform are something we don't really want to be dealing with now, are they? Although there's normally a lot more enemies there, that's kind of strange. Huh. Well, anyway, that's the end of this stage, so whoop-de-doo, I suppose. Whoop-de-doo. I could have sworn more enemies spawned in, but I guess not. Well, general rule of thumb with Team Dark is to always have your Team Blast gauge at the ready anyway. So what I sort of advise is use the Rouge trick, when, you know, the flying character trick, to charge up your Team Blast gauge whenever possible. And I know I've already explained how to do the Team Blast trick, but one thing you'll find is sometimes it's a little bit tricky to pull off, because you need to both press the Y and the X buttons at the exact same moment, the exact same milliseconds, so it can be a little bit tricky, can be a little bit of a pain in the ass to pull off. What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? But anyway, welcome to Chaos Emerald 6, the final Chaos Emerald of the game, and this is going to be one of the more toughest emeralds to deal with. What can I tell you? Basically, you need to avoid all the bombs whenever possible, try and collect as much things as possible, and honestly, the Chaos Emerald itself does sort of have a little bit of rubber band AI going on right now. So while I'm boosting every chance I get, this is actually what I don't recommend you do. What I recommend you guys do whenever you are doing these stages is sort of collect as many of these blue balls, well no, they're not blue, but collect as many of these balls as possible until you can get at least a high enough gauge at the top right of the screen. And then once you find a big open area, just hold down the X button and you will fly directly towards the Chaos Emerald with little problem. That's my main big advice for this. And I used to have so much trouble getting these Chaos Emeralds because I didn't think about, oh, what if I charge up the Chaos Emeralds? Because, not charge up the Chaos Emerald, charge up the boost gauge before boosting, because it doesn't... I didn't realize the Chaos Emerald had rubber band AI. I didn't realize it sped up when you got closer to it, so yeah, that's my advice. What can I tell you?
What do you think, Omega?
Sensors jammed. Real Eggman ID not possible.
We'll just have to find out, won't we?
What's the matter? Cold feet? Well then, here I come. Get them.
Activation ready.
Don't get too excited, boys. Those were the easy ones.
Oh, Eggman, Eggman, Eggman. You say that about all of them. Ugh. But anyway, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this part. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. And I will catch you all next time as we actually head off into the ending of Team Dark's playthrough. Oh boy! I hope you're as excited as I am. And I really hope this flu doesn't kick into full effect. If it does, then I do apologize if there's a delay on the videos, but you know, if there isn't a delay on the videos, if these comes out in full swamp, everything I'm saying right now is a complete moot point. So, well, while this renders, I'll be going to bed. And hopefully I'll be healed. So, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all then. Bye!